Hey everyone, my name is Zach. I'm a 22-year-old competitive boulderer from Canada, currently living near Frankfurt, Germany. Welcome back to the COMPCLIMB training series, where I record all of my training, provide in-depth analysis of every session, and just chat about climbing with an emphasis on competition. If you enjoy the series, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a ton. Now, today's episode, we have got a very fun episode. In the last day of training, I mentioned how we were going to go check out a couple new gyms in Montreal that we haven't visited yet. And this is the first one of the day that we're going to check out, a gym called Rose Bloc. We've heard a lot of good things about this. It's a pretty new gym. It's like, I think we heard that it was about 6 months old or something. And a lot of the setters from like other gyms have been telling us to go check it out, and other climbers. And like I'd seen some pictures and videos, and I was like, okay, I mean, obviously this place looks cool. And like you'll be able to tell, like you can see all these boulders we're going to go through today are just so epic and so cool. But I can't explain to you how it just feels to be in this gym. Like sure, you can see the pretty holds, the pretty boulders, and it's like definitely a nice looking gym. But it's been a while since I have been to a new gym and kind of been hit with this wow factor. Like it's just such a cool atmosphere, and like you can tell the setting is unique, and like just the aesthetics and all the little details that you'll notice in this gym, even just like the taping and the tags and the color scheme, and the black walls look really nice with the mats, and they got like some nice like decor up. I don't know, man. It was like I walked in this gym, I looked around, and I was just so excited to climb, and it's been a while since I've felt like that. So it was a lot of fun. And yeah, like this is something I've mentioned before. It was actually like the last time we were in Montreal, I was talking about Block Shop, another really awesome gym in Montreal that we were training at yesterday. I said that Block Shop is one of the few gyms in the world where I said has this like thing where you look around in the gym and there's not a single bad boulder up. Like everything is like just a 5-star quality product, and you can tell like how they really are cautious and like super like on point with their quality control. And this gym is the same. Like every single boulder is just amazing. And like I met the setters today and chatted with them, and they all seem like super psyched and super nice. Yeah, this gym has got like some just like amazing 5-star boulders everywhere you look, and they're all so like unique and pretty, and it was just such a, I don't know, it was such a fun day of climbing. I had so much fun just going around trying all these boulders. And so yeah, we just have a 45-minute session of bouldering on the schedule for today. I ended up going 15 minutes over time because I couldn't control myself as usual. And yeah, I was just gonna see how many boulders I could do in the gym. Lots of like hard looking stuff. You saw we've already done like a bunch of cool looking boulders at this point. And here we're trying this boulder here, which is graded V11. So the grading system in this gym is by V grades, so you don't have to pay attention to the color tape or the color holds. This boulder here was the only 11 up in the gym, and it was the hardest. It looked like the hardest, and I think it ended up being the hardest in my opinion, like physicality wise. And but I managed to do it in a couple tries. I was feeling really strong on the session. Like I was feeling strong yesterday, and my body felt good yesterday. My fingers didn't feel so strong. My like grip strength was just a bit fatigued, and I wasn't able to activate it super well after like the travel day and like with the jet lag in my body. But today I had still had that good body feeling, and then I added some good grip strength in today. Like my hands felt a lot better than the previous day. All it takes for me is just like a session, a couple sessions to like get rid of the jet lag, and then I'm good to go. So I felt like in pretty good condition this morning, and like I definitely feel like I'm in form. And I'm kind of like, I was trying to do like, you know, a little tiny mini peak for this event, even though it's just kind of more for fun. But anytime we have a comp, I'll just try to, you know, cut down the volume a little bit, and you know, just to make sure I'm feeling nice and good. And my body's like really responding well to that. We've been kind of training like quite high volume for the last few weeks, and even just with dipping the volume down a little bit, all of a sudden my body feels really good. And so it's going to be a lot of fun to go compete in a couple days. Here we are doing some more boulders. This cool little paddle boulder here. And actually something I was realizing throughout this whole session, and you can see here I'm kind of talking with Maddie about this boulder. She was kind of trying to figure out how to do this paddle, which she ended up doing in a few tries. And I was kind of trying to explain to her what my movement process was and what I was thinking about in order to take that move. And something I was like realizing throughout this whole session, which was actually really helpful, is they had a whole lot of variety of boulders and like lots of different styles. and like lots of different moves that got me like really was working my brain really well, and like I was trying to figure out all these sort of like tips and tricks and techniques and just everything. I was getting like reminded of all my tools that I used, and it was like the perfect like pre-comp session to just get all the things firing. Also, you see this boulder here we just did was like graded V8, and that is probably one of the boulders that I struggled with most throughout all this session. That first move took me a while to figure out. Sometimes the taping, and this is kind of a theme with Montreal actually, the taping can be kind of confusing. So that boulder had like just the 2 tapes on that start hold, and the way you're supposed to start it is you kind of jump into the boulder and do like a paddle. And at first I was trying to just jump and hang on those holds, and that's not actually how you're supposed to do it. So it took a little while to figure out. But yeah, like I was saying, the session was great because I was able to just kind of realize a lot of kind of like basic techniques of just modern comp style bouldering that work, and like re-emphasize a lot of the things. And one of them in particular today, you can see I'm doing it here on the boulder, this boulder here on the start position for this boulder. So it's kind of like a really bad volume that you have to start on, and then you start in like an overhead press. And I struggled a couple times to start this bowler, and then what I did is I switched my foot position to like a full foot position, where I had the whole side of my foot, like my heel and the ball of my foot, resting on this volume and creating a lot of friction. And then all of a sudden I was able to start this bowler really well. And that's like kind of a technique of mine that I do a lot, is I really like the full foot position. Some people really don't like it, but I swear by it. And I sometimes I forget that I actually really like it. It's weird. And so today I actually found myself using this technique a lot on a lot of different volumes. They had just like a lot of volume boulders and like with the big triangles, and I found myself using the full foot a lot, and it was feeling super solid. And all of a sudden my confidence in the full foot position was just kind of being increased just throughout the duration of this simple session that we were having today. And this is exactly like the sort of thing you want, like right before an event, is to like have confidence in like your, smearing ability or your dyno ability or whatever it is. And that's this session ended up being great for it. Another example of this is here, this move that we're trying here. Recently, I've been developing a new technique for these sort of swing boulders. I haven't actually talked about it, but maybe you've noticed it in some of the past few episodes we've been doing in Germany, but there's definitely been a few boulders where I've been doing this specific technique. So a lot of times what people will do with a swing boulder is kind of swing like face on and just kind of generate a little bit, and you're just kind of swinging facing the direction you're going to go. And this will work for some people, and it's not necessarily wrong, but something that I've found really, really helps for me and works is to swing side to side rather than face on in most scenarios. And that's something I was doing here. What I do is I pull on the wall, and I start completely still, and all it takes is 2 swings. A lot of people will swing back and forth, and sometimes people will just swing way too much, like more than they need to, and like you're not actually gaining more momentum at that point. You're kind of just waiting until your swing is like, you have like a good feeling swing, and that's when you launch. But with this technique, it's also another benefit of it is that you don't need to mess around with all these extra swings. And so what I do is I hang, and then I swing in the direction I'm going to go from to the side, and then I swing in the opposite direction, and then that gives me the perfect amount of momentum to do the swing. And it's been like, there have been like 5 or 6 examples in the past couple weeks where this technique has really worked so well for me, and has always been consistently better than like swinging face on. And that was an example of it. Like you saw that I hung, swung in the direction, swung away, and then that gave me all the momentum I needed to travel all the way over to the right and do that jump, which is pretty cool. And now I have more confidence in this technique going into this event. So if I see a similar move, I'm gonna feel super good about it. So this boulder we're trying here, look at that. Look what I'm doing with my left foot. This full foot thing that I've been using like all day. And I swear, like, if I was to try and like do this move with the ball of my foot, I bet it would have taken me a lot more tries. But like the amount of friction that I can use with the full foot makes it so that it's super unlikely for my foot to slip on this pretty poor volume on this move. This boulder is actually really cool. I really enjoyed this boulder. A really cool start move that looks super hard, but then using my foot technique, it felt pretty solid, and a pretty anti-style ending there with like this bouncy like foot cross through that I'm usually not super good at. But yeah, and I think I mentioned this as well in like a previous video. So disclaimer, I'm not sponsored by Scarpa, but I'm gonna talk about how much I love these shoes I'm wearing right now. The Instincts, just the VSRs. So this full foot position that I love to talk about and use, I find that I'll actually only do this when I'm going through a phase where I'm wearing these Instincts. Like I was wearing the high ankles for a while previously, and I would never usually use this technique in those shoes. And the reason is just because, I don't know, the way these shoes are made, like these Instincts, the torque, they're like really strong and really feel good in this position because they feel really stable, and there's like not very much torque. Like it's gonna, like when you have your full foot, it's not gonna twist that much. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's just something I feel in these shoes that I don't feel in any other shoes, is they feel really strong in this position. And some shoes don't. Like Maddie was like trying to start a couple of these boulders with these volumes, and I was trying to get her to try this full foot position because it worked really well for me, but she wasn't vibing with it. And I think it's like, honestly, it's just a shoe thing sometimes. I would not like it in the high ankles. I would prefer the ball on my foot, but these shoes, it's crazy how this technique works really well. And it's got like a nice heel, and I think that also helps. But like I said, I'm not sponsored by Scarpa, but that's just something I love about these shoes. And I go back and forth between what shoe I like. Like you'll notice, like I said, I was wearing the high ankles for a bit. Now I'm wearing these. I don't know, I'm liking these shoes right now, and so I'm gonna stick with them for a bit. And so here, this boulder we're trying right now is a V8, and you can see it's taking me a bunch of tries. This boulder probably took me the most amount of tries throughout the whole session. And it is a V8. So I mentioned this before, I always love it when like the top 3 or 4 grade ranges in the gym blend together. I love just being surprised by softer boulders being harder than they should be. It just, first of all, like it provides more hard boulders, and it also just provides good mental challenges to not be like thrown off by easier graded boulders when you struggle with them. So yeah, that's always a lot of fun. And that boulder was another example of where I was using the full foot to walk across that big volume in the middle there, which was really cool. But that wrapped up a very nice session in Rose Bloc. This gym is amazing. I get what all the hype is about, and you can tell by the title. I don't know. Is it the coolest bouldering gym in Canada? Maybe it is. It's been a while since I've walked into a gym and just been so wowed by it and been like, whoa, I want to go climb in this gym really badly right now. That was a really fun session I just had. And I could not rein myself in. I had to go 15 minutes extra, and I ended up sending everything in the gym that I tried. There was maybe a 9 that I didn't try or something, but I had a really good session. I was feeling really strong, and it was a lot of fun and a great session to have before the Jackalope coming up in a couple days. That being said, this was our morning session. Later in the day, we go to Beta Bloc, another gym that I haven't been to in Montreal, and I've heard a lot of good things about that as well. And so this is part 1 of 2 of this day of training. So this is our morning session. Tune in to the next episode to see the session at Beta Bloc. And then it's time for Jackalope.